Hey guys, this is Paul from Smart Easy DIY. Welcome to episode 2 of Building My Garage. So now that we got the building lines established, the next step is to get the water line dug in. So let's get started. My water line's coming in from the house. I dug it over here and it's coming up here, and then I'm gonna have it go up to the garden for frost free. I put that in, so now I just got to go from that ditch and dig it down in here. And I want to bring it into the back part of the building here. I'll show you my floor plan layout later. But this is going to be kind of the mechanical room back here. So I don't want to put it right in the corner. There's going to be a stairs going upstairs here, and then a landing coming this way. And I don't want to interfere with that. There's going to be room underneath there. I want to show you, you have to think about layout and stuff where you want your water line. Looking at my layout, and this is close enough for this. Like, since I went 1.5 inches oversized with the building because of the foam, or where the strings are, I'm gonna come right to the string. You can level down if you want. I'm just siding down to get it close. And then I'm gonna go approximately 6 feet. So you can see 6 feet right there. Just gonna make a dot out here so I'm not right on the tape measure. But that's giving me 1.5 inches actually, so now I know I'm 6 foot there. I just like to use an old tape measure that I don't care if it gets a little spray paint on it. And so there, I'm gonna go 1 foot, 1.5. So I'm technically a foot in. So right there where the two meet, you can see right there. So that's approximately where I wanna go with my water line. So I'm gonna dig that in. I'm gonna put it inside of a conduit where it comes up through, probably out to here. I'm just using the blue poly pipe. I wanna do a shut off underground in case I ever wanna winterize the building. So that's kind of the plan there. It's time to get digging right there where we got the corner going. The water line's right over there. You can see it. Or that's where it's gonna go. Okay, so I haven't showed much footage of digging in the back though, so we're gonna go dig a little bit.
Let's start digging. Let's start digging.
I'm gonna put most of the dirt over here. Okay, so we're getting our ditch dug in here. As you can see, it's coming in here. It's really rocky up there, so we're going to get it as deep as we can. Right here coming into the building, it's getting nice and deep again. So right here, where that X is where I want to go. So I got it close. I'm just going to do this a little bit by hand, I think. I reset the strings up right here. I just moved a little bit of dirt so I could get there. And I got it all the way around. And so I reset up the strings and we remeasured it. You can see kind of how that works. And then we're going to have that come in right there where the X is. So that's why the strings are nice. You have something to reference off of. So you guys saw how we got this all in here. So we ended up doing a little bit of extra digging here with the machine after all, because it was just too much. But right here where the water line comes up through the concrete floor, I'd like to protect it. So I'm gonna use this conduit. I have some from doing my electrical, but I'm gonna steal a piece of that and my 90, and I'm gonna protect it. And probably whatever I do there, whatever I cut off, I want to make sure I cut it high enough so that it's going to stick up out of the floor. I can recut it later. I'm going to use the leftover piece since it has a bell on it and get it out a little bit, and then probably get my shutoff valve down here. Now if you're wondering about the shutoff valve down here making too much water down here by my footings, that's only going to be like once a year, if that, if I would winterize the place. And it's only going to be from about 8 feet of pipe that would drain in there, so it's not going to be much at all. So that should not be a problem. So that's what we did, is we dug and we put our strings back up, and I referenced off of them. I was coming in 6 feet this way, And I want to make sure that I'm inside the wall. In here in the mechanical room, I don't care, but I want to have it just inside a little bit just to protect it a little more from the cold. Although it's going to be drained anyway, but when the building is heated, I want it inside the wall just for extra frost protection. So the main thing, this string right here is the height of what my floor is going to be. So I'm going to give myself a couple extra inches, maybe 8 or so. Then I know right where to cut this pipe off here. And I'm just going to cut it with a circular saw. So that's just 2-inch pipe. Then I can put this bell down on this end. I'm just going to dry fit it for now.
Huh? Oh.
Then that's going to sit in like that. I don't need to have that much down there, but I probably want to put my frost free down there so I can kind of pretty much see right where I want to cut it. Okay, so we need to hook up the water line, run it down to the garage. We're going to do another frost free right there. That's the one that went up to the garden when I dug this in. So this is our T right here. We had a temporary shut-off valve, so we're going to get rid of that. I'm going to hook this poly pipe up, run it down through there. So I'll show the process a little bit in case you're interested. Okay, so we're going to run the water line down here. Like I said, I'm setting up this frost free. So I already put the T down in here. I screwed it down in the bottom, and I put a bag on just to keep it dry and clean for now. So I want to get it kind of approximately where I'm going to set it. And then I have this board to pinch it where it needs to go. And then I have some really long screws to screw in here. So what it does is it just pinches that tight. So for now, that's going to hold it in place. Okay, so we got to put some washed gravel in this hole around the frost-free hydrant. And I'm going to put some down there by the shutoff valve as well, the drain back valve. So I got a wheelbarrow load of washed. Washed means, I mean, it has a little dirt in it, but for the most part, it's all clean because you want the thing to be able to drain back really well. And then I'll get it as close as I can. This is a wide ditch. There, now I can shovel around there. Put some landscape fabric around. I usually put a couple layers. Got the gravel in here, kind of heaped it up around here. You want to have at least, I would say, a couple 5-gallon buckets worth. You can probably see kind of how much I had in the wheelbarrow, but you want to have plenty around there. And then I have this heavy duty landscape fabric, like the heaviest duty I could find. And I'm going to put 2 layers around there, which I'll show you in a bit. Okay, so I got 2 layers put around. You kind of have to split it to get it on there, but I like to overlap the cuts. So I do like one direction and one a different direction, so they overlap well, and I like to do 2 layers just for extra protection. All right, guys, so I had to go do a few things tonight. Now I'm back again. And so what I'm gonna do, I ran the water line in here. I got it run into the conduit here, as you can see. And then I'm gonna put this shutoff valve right here. So this is called a drain back valve. See how it has this spot right here? And it's directional, of course. So you can see the arrow right there. These things are about 150 bucks, but they are worthwhile. This is a 1-inch, 3/4 what I needed for my water line. So they just sold me a bushing to reduce it down because that's all they had for a drain back valve was a 1-inch. So I'm gonna put this one in line down there. I want it inside my lean-to, since I'm gonna have a lean-to here probably eventually. That's not quite as far out as it's gonna go. I mean, it's gonna go out to about there, about 10 feet out. So I want this shutoff valve to be out of the way here for driving through, like if I drive through from this way and then come around, you know, if I'm plowing snow or whatever, I want to be able to make this corner and go around. And I don't want this out in the way at all. So I'm going to put it inside here because I don't think I'm ever going to pour concrete in here. It's just going to be gravel. I want it tucked in close to the building. That's kind of what I'm thinking. Put that shutoff valve down in there, and let's go get to it. So just to give you an idea, usually what I do is use a torch, put it on very low flame, and this poly pipe, this is a heavy duty good stuff. It's made in Idaho, this brand is, but it's very good, heavy duty, good for rocks and stuff. That's why it was a little bit more money, but I thought it's worthwhile to do that probably, because I have a lot of rocks around here. So I just lightly heat the end right here because it's very hard to slip on otherwise on the barb fittings. Just heat all the way around. You don't want to heat it too much, but you want it to be able to slip on there. And then I use a stainless steel hose clamp and I put a couple on there and I put them opposite direction. Like I put one on this way, the next one on this direction, and just it kind of gives it opposite tension. That's what I saw the well guy doing. That's what I'm going to do. And I have some heavier duty ones that I had gotten from one place, but I don't have those anymore. I ran out, so I'm going to get the ones, these are just from Home Depot with their stainless steel. I'm going to put 3 on just to be safe. So you might think that's kind of excessive, but these barbs are really long. They're about 2 inches long, so there is room for 3 on there. So I'm going to do that because I never want to deal with it again. So with this shut-off valve, one more thing I was going to mention, it does have a rod that comes down. It has a big housing that screws on here that's extendable to above grade. And then it has this right here, and a pin goes in here in this shaft so it can't ever come out. And then that's how you turn it on and off with the metal wrench from up above the ground. So that's what that's for. There's a little bit of water in there from earlier. Yes, I know I'm having sandals on, but it's been a hot day and I don't want to wear shoes. Now you have to make sure to put these hose clamps on first. Put them in an opposite direction. Turn the flame down really low. I like to heat it on all sides a little bit. Don't want to do it too long, that's probably good. If you don't put enough heat, it won't go on there very easy. Now be careful, this pipe is still hot. Make sure they're nice and tight. Now I got to put clamps on this side. I like getting the hose clamps on while it's still melted and warm a little bit, because that way they can tighten right in there nice. Okay, that should be good. We're going to turn the water on and test it before we cover any of this up. I'm going to put crushed gravel around here, just like you would do a frost-free. Put landscape fabric around it to keep the dirt out, and then that should be it. Before we backfill, we're going to want to do all that. Okay, so this is the upright part for this shut-off valve, so it comes above ground, and it's quite adjustable here. This is the shortest, but you can extend it quite a bit more than that. And there's this bushing right here that threads into here that goes onto here first, but these things are usually gunked up, the threads, so you want to clean them out. So you have to test this out ahead of time to make sure that it's going to work, seems like. So what happens anyway is this goes down on here, threads on there, and then see this part here, and it has a hole in it like I had showed you earlier. That's what this pin here is for. They put the pin in so you don't lose it. So then you got to put the pin down in here. Then you have to bend it as well so it never comes out. And then in order to make room in here, you might have to bend it both ways. This is where the key comes down from the top and turns it to turn this valve on and off. Like that. Then this slips over the top like this. And then you have to get this threaded in. Sometimes it takes a little to get it threaded in, but you'll be able to tell once you get it on for sure. And there you go. Then you might have to support this with something. But this is where you undo this cap right here, and then with the special wrench that you have, it comes with the wrench. Then you slip it down in here and turn the valve on and off, and it's above ground. Okay, so I got this set in here. I just used this bar because I had it handy for having that thing stay upright. An idea is put 2 2x across here, screw them together with long screws, and it pinches it tight, and you can adjust it for level and all that. I just want to get it setting like that to get the gravel set in there. So I got some washed gravel I'm going to put in here just for the drain back purposes. Okay, so we got some gravel in there. Gonna spread it around, put some landscape fabric around it, and we should be good. Okay, so I got some of the heaviest duty landscape fabric I could find, and I like to do double layers, and you kind of have to split it to get it around there, but I turn one way and one the other so that the cuts overlap each other. And I like to do double layer just so it's very good. And that should do it. Now you can put dirt over it. Okay, this part of the ditch is so rocky I couldn't get it as deep as I wanted. So I'm going to put some rigid insulation in here. And I've got a sheet of 4x8, and yes, it's expensive, but it's cheap insurance, so it doesn't ever freeze. Now they do have lines at the 2 foot mark or the 16. I cut it a little deeper with my knife. Now it can just break right there. I want it at 16 inches because that'll offer enough protection. And with the cave-in, I don't want to go full 2 feet. So I'm going to go pretty much right from there. I just bedded the pipe with a little bit of extra dirt on it. And then I put this in, and it's going to crumble a little bit under the weight. I mean, just to, if you don't have it perfectly level, it's not going to crush it. So 1 sheet will do 24 feet. So that's all I need to get past this part. And yeah, this will come right up here to the corner where now it gets deeper again. Now we can put dirt over top of that, and I got the rest of the pipe bedded all the way, so it should work great. Now I think I might have mentioned this before, but when I'm putting water line in a ditch like this, I like to bury it with at least 8 inches of clean dirt, no rocks over the top of the pipe directly, even though this stuff is really strong. I like to just do that for an extra layer of protection because I have lots of rocks, as you can see, and I try to put them in kind of halfway up the ditch if possible. You can't always avoid that, but good rule of thumb, give it at least 6 to 8 inches of clean dirt, I would say, protect it, and that should be good. All right, guys, well, I hope you enjoyed this video. Be on the lookout for the next video. It's going to be digging in the electrical line. So I'll see you guys in the next video. Thanks for watching, guys.